All right, we're about to go on an incredible journey. And no, we're not traveling across the world. We're going inside our own bodies. We're going to follow one single bite of food and see how it gets broken down, soaked up, and turned into the very energy that's powering you right this second. Yeah, your thoughts, your movements, all of it.
I mean, have you ever really stopped to think about it? We all eat, right? Multiple times a day. But what actually happens next? The second you start chewing, you're kickstarting this unbelievable microscopic factory inside of you. It's an absolutely amazing process, and today, we're getting the full backstage tour.
Okay, let's get into it. This right here, this is basically our map for the whole journey, the human digestive system. At its heart, it's really just one long, super clever tube that winds all the way from the mouth to, well, the exit. But as you'll see, there are some seriously specialized stops on this road trip. So our story begins, you guessed it, with that very first bite. Now, the mouth is way more than just a doorway for food. Think of it more like a high-tech prep station where digestion kicks off the second that food gets in there. And it happens in a couple of different ways. Yes, so there are two things happening at the exact same time. You've got your teeth doing the mechanical work, the chewing, the grinding, all that brute force stuff. But at the same time, your saliva is launching this full-on chemical attack, using these special little molecules to start breaking the food down before you've even thought about swallowing. And let's be clear, saliva is definitely not just water. It's this complex chemical cocktail that's absolutely packed with enzymes. So that piece of bread or potato you're eating, the moment it hits your tongue, an enzyme called amylase gets to work, breaking down those starches. And right alongside it, you've got lysozyme, which is kind of like your own personal bodyguard, fighting off nasty bacteria from the get-go. Okay, so once you're done chewing, your body does something absolutely brilliant, and you don't even have to think about it. It's a reflex. This little flap, it's called the epiglottis. It just snaps shut over your windpipe. It's like a perfect little trapdoor, making absolutely sure that your food goes down the right pipe, the esophagus, and not, into your lungs. All right, next stop on the tour. Our bite of food is now heading down the esophagus and into the stomach. And if this whole system is a factory, then the stomach is the main processing chamber. It's this muscular, stretchy bag that's about to unleash some serious chemical and mechanical power. So check this out. Most of the digestive tube has 2 layers of muscle to kind of squeeze food along. But the stomach is different. It's got a 3rd layer, running diagonally. So why the upgrade? Well, that extra muscle gives it this incredible 3-dimensional churning power. It can twist and pummel and mix food like no other organ in the body. A lot of people think that food just kind of falls through you because of gravity, but that's not it at all. It's actually being actively pushed along by these powerful wave-like muscle squeezes. It's called peristalsis, and it's these waves that methodically push that food all the way through the system, step by step. So at the end of the day, what's the stomach's main goal? Simple. Turn that solid food you ate into a liquefied, soupy paste. We call this stuff chyme. And it does this by basically flooding the food with super acidic gastric juice. This juice has special enzymes like pepsin, which get to work on breaking down any proteins in your meal. Okay, but here's a good question. If the stomach acid is so powerful, why doesn't it just, digest the stomach itself? Well, this is where it gets really clever. The inside wall is coated in this thick layer of mucus. And this isn't just any slime, it's full of bicarbonate, which neutralizes the acid right where it touches the stomach wall. It's a perfect self-made protective shield. Okay, leaving the stomach, we're now entering the longest part of the journey, the small intestine. And don't let the name fool you. This is where the real magic happens. This is the main event, the critical hub where food gets completely broken down and all those precious nutrients finally get absorbed. This is just a perfect example of a core idea in biology. Structure is everything. I mean, from the outside, the small intestine looks like a pretty simple coiled-up tube. But if you could see the inside surface, it's a totally different story. It's this huge, complex, folded landscape, all designed for one single purpose, to absorb as much stuff as possible. So how does it create all this surface area? It's genius, really. It's like folds on top of folds. First, you have these big circular folds. Then, covering those are millions of tiny finger-like things called villi. And then, get this, The cells on those villi have their own even tinier microscopic folds called microvilli. You add it all up, and the inner surface of your small intestine is about the size of a tennis court. It's incredible. Right, so at this point, another organ, the pancreas, sends in a whole demolition crew of enzymes. It's like a team of specialists. You've got amylase, whose job is to finish off any carbohydrates. Then you've got trypsin, the protein expert, which breaks them down into amino acids. And finally, lipase comes in to tackle all the fats. Now, fat is tricky to digest, so the body has a secret weapon, bile. Bile is made by the liver and stored in the gallbladder. And here's the key thing, it's not an enzyme. It works just like dish soap on a greasy pan. It takes big blobs of fat and breaks them up into teeny tiny little droplets. This process gives that fat-digesting enzyme, lipase, way more surface area to attack, making the whole process super efficient. And just like that, our original bite of food is gone. It doesn't exist anymore. In its place is a collection of its tiniest building blocks, simple sugars, amino acids, and fatty acids. And now, they're finally small enough to do what they've been trying to do all along, pass through the wall of the intestine and get into the body's superhighway, the bloodstream. But wait, there is a crucial stop first. The blood leaving your intestines doesn't just go everywhere. Nope. It first takes a detour through a special route that takes all that fresh, nutrient-packed blood straight to the liver. Think of the liver as the ultimate quality control checkpoint and processing plant for everything you just absorbed. Yeah, the liver really is the body's master chemist and gatekeeper. It looks at all the incoming nutrients and decides what to do with them. Convert them, send them out, or store them. It pulls out anything harmful and detoxifies it, and it's super smart about energy. If there's extra sugar, it'll store it away as something called glycogen, like putting fuel in a reserve tank for later. Okay, we're on the final leg of the journey. The nutrients have passed inspection at the liver, and now they're released into the main bloodstream. Their mission? To be delivered to every single one of the trillions of cells in your body. This right here is the moment that food finally becomes fuel. So let's zoom way in. Let's just follow one of those nutrients, say a single molecule of glucose. It's been traveling through the bloodstream, and now it slips out of a tiny blood vessel and right into a body cell. And its final destination inside that cell? A tiny little organelle called the mitochondria. These are the microscopic power plants that keep every single one of your cells running. So once inside the mitochondria, the energy that was locked away in that glucose molecule gets converted into a new molecule called ATP. The best way to think of ATP is as the cell's universal energy currency. It's like a tiny rechargeable battery. This is the molecule that powers literally everything a cell needs to do. Move a muscle, think a thought, build something new, it all runs on ATP. And there you have it. From a simple bite of food on your plate to a tiny spark of energy inside a single cell. Your body does this incredible, ridiculously complex, and beautiful journey with every single meal you eat. It's just a powerful reminder that what you eat directly becomes how you function. So the only real question left is, what kind of fuel are you going to give your amazing factory next?